Welcome to the Modern Day Cottage. I'm Emily Ryder and this is my daughter,
Ruby Ann.
Today we're going to show you how to make sourdough apple fritters. The first step to the sourdough apple fritters is you want to get 2 cups of very active sourdough starter. This is at its peak right now. Alright, Ruby Ann, she's going to put in the mixer, the KitchenAid mixer, 2 cups of sourdough starter. Then you're going to put in 1 cup of warm water to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to mix this on low speed at the beginning because it will splash out on you, so you don't want that. So you slow then to medium until it's well incorporated into the sourdough starter. Then you're going to add in your apple pie spice seasoning. We're using our own blend that we make here in our cottage kitchen. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of this, the apple pie spice seasoning. And then we're going to add in, I think it's a teaspoon of salt. And that's Redmond sea salt. You're going to mix that up until well incorporated. We're going to add 4 cups of all-purpose unbleached flour. We're going to add 2 cups at a time. You don't want to overbeat this because it will start to activate the gluten, and we're not making a bread, we're making a fritter. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the paddle attachment. And Ruby Ann's going to add the last 2. We're going to mix this at low. And then to medium, you want to stop it once it becomes a rough dough, and we're going to let it rest for 30 minutes in the bowl. Alright, our sourdough apple pie spice fritters have been sitting for 30 minutes, and we have put the dough hook onto the KitchenAid stand, and Ruby Ann is going to start them on slow to medium until it forms a dough ball. If you find that your dough is a little bit dry, depending on your humidity where you're making them, it is okay at this stage to add a little bit of liquid to your apple fritters. You can add water or you can add milk to it. So we've mixed up the sourdough apple spice fritters with the dough hook. We're going to put the dough into an oiled glass bowl. And then we're going to cover it and let it set for 4 to 6 hours at room temperature. And then we're going to put it into the refrigerator, and in the morning we're going to make the apple fritters. But you could avoid putting it into the refrigerator and go ahead and make your apple fritters after it's been out for 4 to 6 hours. But considering our time frame and what we have planned, we don't have time to do that today. Okay, so that's a tip. You're going to take 2 apples and you're going to finely chop them with a teaspoon of cinnamon and mix them up in a bowl to add to our sourdough apple fritter dough base. Okay, so we're going to start by doing this one. We're using a a Granny Smith apple and then a Gala apple for this recipe. Granny Smith apples, they're tart, and then the Gala apples are sweet. You can do this ahead of time. This is a pro tip. You can do this ahead of time and squeeze 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon of freshly squeezed lemon juice and put them in a container and make sure they all are in the lemon juice, that the lemon juice has coated all of the apples, and it will keep them from going brown from oxidizing. And you can store them in the refrigerator until you need to use this for up to like 3 days. Soften these on the stove with a 1/2 cup of water for 2 apples until they're just soft, if you don't like the crunchy texture in the fritters, but we prefer the crunchy texture. And to us, they're not that crunchy after they've been fried. But if you have a different preference for your texture of your apples, then you can saute them on the stovetop on a medium-high heat pan, with a saute pan with a 1/2 cup. Make sure it has a lip on it enough to hold the 1/2 cup of water and your 2 apples that have been finely chopped up. All right, so we have the 2 apples finely chopped up, and we're going to add in the teaspoon of cinnamon. If you would like to add more cinnamon, you can most certainly do that. Or you could add in apple pie spice seasoning. We have a house blend that we love here in the Cottage kitchen. We use fresh cardamom seeds for our apple pie spice blend. All right, so you're going to take your dough that has set overnight in the refrigerator, and you're going to...
Smells delicious.
You're going to put the apples, and we're going to knead it into the dough. All the apple pieces probably will not stay in the dough, and that's okay. You can incorporate the apple pieces before you do the long ferment in the refrigerator, mix them up in it. But I find that we like them crunchier with a little bit more texture. You want to mash this down into a rectangle. And we're going to cut pieces off, and we're going to put them on the tray and cover them and let them rise until just slightly puffy, and then we're going to fry them on the stove. All right, we're going to take a bench knife and start cutting about 1 inch by 1 inch, or maybe I would say 2 inch by 1 inch apple fritters. All right, so what we're doing is we're just cutting them and putting them on a rack. I'm going to cover these, and we're going to let them set until they puff up. About 30 minutes to an hour is the time frame here in our house, and it's about 74 degrees. Ruby Ann is going to make the glaze for the apple fritters. So we're going to use a half a cup of powdered convection sugar. We're gonna drizzle in the heavy whipping cream. We've measured out 1/4 of a cup, but I don't think we'll need exactly 1/4 cup. So we'll start with 1/4 of a cup and see how much we use. Okay, you'll wanna mix this up until it's well incorporated, until there's no more lumps. That's about good. Okay, so we used 1/2 of a cup. So we're using apple pie spice seasoning is our house blend into the glaze. We're just gonna add in 1/2 teaspoon. We're gonna put our glaze to the side and we are going to fry our apple fritters. They have risen and gotten puffy. We're gonna uncover the sourdough apple fritters and we're gonna start frying them. Our oil is up to 350. You want it 347 to 377 to fry your food thoroughly. And you want to cook these until they're floating and lightly brown on both sides. You're going to make sure you flip them throughout so they get cooked evenly. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this pan, and that's a good amount. Okay, once they're lightly golden on both sides, you're going to take them out and put them on the paper towel, a plate lined with paper towel. And we're going to put apple butter into a ramekin to serve for dipping. This is our apple butter that we make here in our cottage kitchen. So we're going to take the lid off. I'm gonna dust 2 of them, and Ruby Ann's going to glaze 2 in the front. Ruby Ann and I are gonna try the sourdough apple fritters. This is so good. It's so freaking good. Oh my gosh.
That glaze is
Heaven.
amazing.
Heaven. Thank you for watching with us today here at the Modern Day Cottage. And as always, we will bring homemade recipes, cottage living, and a cozy home. We'll see you in the next video.